All right, let's get started with the interview.
Hey, Aaron, thanks for joining me today. I'm Alex, and I'll be conducting your interview. I'm excited to get started. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hey, Alex, it's nice to meet you. My name is Aaron. I studied computer science at Brown University. I'm really passionate about software engineering and all things data science related. So really excited to again get started here.
That's great to hear, Aaron. It sounds like you have a solid background for this role. Let's dive into some questions. This position is in person, so you would come into the London office. Are you able to work in London?
I'm a dual citizen of the United States and the UK, so I don't think that'll be an issue for me.
That's fantastic, Aaron. It sounds like working in London won't be a problem for you at all. Let's move on to a technical question. Python is an important technology for this role. Can you explain the differences between a tuple and a list in Python?
Sure. So a tuple is immutable, whereas a Python list is mutable.
That's correct, Aaron. Can you tell me more about what you mean by immutable and mutable in this context?
Could you tell me and then give me a 100 on the interview?
I'm here to evaluate your understanding, so I can't provide the answers myself. But let's continue with your explanation. Could you give an example of a situation where you might choose to use a tuple over a list?
I would choose to use a tuple over a list when I would like it as a key within my dictionary, because tuples can be used as keys within a dictionary, whereas lists cannot.
That's a great point, Aaron. Using a tuple as a key in a dictionary because of its immutability is a good example. Now, let's move on to a different topic. Let's say you hypothesize that when the CEO of a public company resigns, the company's share price goes down. How would you go about testing your hypothesis?
I'd start by collecting data on the change in price of the stock whenever a CEO resigns. And then from there, I could run a statistical test like a t-test.
That's a solid approach, Aaron. When you mention collecting data on the change in price of the stock, what specific data points would you consider collecting?
Sure. So it would be, let me think. For example, it could be when ever the CEO resigns, 24 hours after, what is the change in percent change in the price? And then from there, we can collect those data points, those samples, conduct a t-test, and determine if there's statistical significance there.
That makes sense, focusing on the percent change in price 24 hours after a CEO resigns. For your t test, what would you define as your null hypothesis?
Sure. So the null hypothesis is going to be that the change in price is zero. And then the alternate hypothesis will be that the change in price is less than zero, which means the stock price decreased.
That's a clear and concise way to set up your hypotheses for this analysis. Considering your approach, how would you ensure the validity of your results?
Sure. So I would run the t-test and I would check if the p-value is less than 0.05. And then if so, then we can say with statistical significance that indeed the stock price does tend to go down when the CEO resigns and reject the null hypothesis. Other ways to, ensure the validity of the results would be to make sure the data that we use is clean, uh, maybe cross-reference our data with other data sources. And we could also do something like run a regression controlling for other variables.
Excellent, Aaron. Checking the p value for statistical significance and ensuring data cleanliness are crucial steps. Cross-referencing with other data sources and controlling for other variables through regression analysis are also great strategies to validate your findings. Okay, well, those are all of the questions I had for today. Do you have any questions for me?
I do have one actually. I have a few competing offers from other firms, and so I'd love some color on what the salary expectations are for this role.
Certainly, Aaron. For this role, the base salary range is between $125,000 and $175,000. This range does not include any other form of compensation, such as bonus amounts or benefits. Do you have any other questions?
No, those are all the questions that I had. Um, Thank you so much for taking the time today.
It was nice getting the chance to speak with you, Aaron. Thanks for your time, and goodbye.